Now we review Big Scary Wind Monsters, the movie. Twisters. Twisters. Yes, it's plural. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. I have seen Twisters. Yes. I don't think I've ever reviewed Twister, I think it's 1996 film, but I have seen Twisters and am reviewing that. So I haven't checked to see if Twister is on my watch list, but it should be because it was a good film. But I have a very long watch list. Anyway, Twisters is at very least a spiritual sequel to Twister. There are references to the first film, but it's not necessarily... I mean, there are no characters from the first film. Alright? What you have is a woman who is... In the very first scene, we have a group of people who are trying to see if they can get a twister to shrink or a tornado to shrink if they deprive it of moisture by throwing the substance inside baby diapers into it. Yes, it's a little dumb. And they have the machine from the original film that has all the flying sensors that are supposed to map the inside of the twister and give you information. Alright, so tragedy ensues, and this chick, who is apparently the tornado sniffer, the tornado whisperer, the tornado clairvoyant of some kind, and she decides she's not going to chase tornadoes anymore because some bad stuff happened. And the other dude, who's like, her boyfriend-esque, joined the military, came back and said, hey, I've got my hands on some, super military technology, and if you come and chase some tornadoes with me, we might be able to save some lives. But it has to be you. There's nobody else that can do it, because you're the tornado sniffer. You're the tornado sniffer, and you must help me sniff out tornadoes. And then there is the YouTube D-bag who serves as the stand-in for the villain of the first movie, who sees this chick and goes, wow, that's a nice hiney. I want to get me some of that. And it is a nice hiney, yes. And you have a play between these three characters, basically a love triangle happening while a Godzilla movie is taking place, only the Godzilla is tornadoes, right? That's what's going on. In this, these are not regular tornadoes, these are Godzilla tornadoes. They keep getting bigger as they destroy things and becoming Category 5s. And if you'll remember that, during Pacific Rim, we described them as Category Kaiju. Well, I guess this is where we got that, because these are there are really Category something tornadoes, but yeah, we describe them by category. And a Category 5, not very well described in this film, I don't think, but in the original film, they referred to a Category 5 as a finger of God. It's just absolutely destructive. Okay, so there are a number of themes within this movie. Commercialism, mass media, being genuine, and I think they slapped in a little of that stuff we saw after the big fire in Hawaii, where companies come in and they swoop and they buy up the damaged and destroyed land from the tornadoes while it has very little value. And yeah, this movie, it talks about who can you really trust? What are your morals? Is it right to profit off disaster? And this was kind of a controversy with the first film, because it's like in the first film, the question was all right, there's this guy with corporate sponsors who's a big, movie star sort of a dude who chases tornadoes. He's trying to get the data. And then there's the guys who are doing it because they're just trying to save lives. They might get the data. what's the difference? You know, if you could figure out how to stop tornadoes or predict tornadoes, does it make a difference if you profit off it, if it saves lives? That was a controversy of the first film, okay? This second film does not have that controversy. There is simply a character who is a D-bag who goes in after tornadoes, buys up the land that was damaged by the tornado, and profits off land purchases. So I'm not dead sure how that works, but I mean, this movie does subvert your expectations. It's not straightforward. It's not as blunt force trauma as the original film. But I do have to say that the original film had stronger characters, which is why it is a mystery to me why this film is getting a 7.1, where I think that one gets a 6.2 on IMDb. That is a almost 10% more out of 10. And really, Twister, yes, it had its low points, but I really thought that was an enjoyable film. Of course, I saw it more than a decade ago. Now, on Rotten Tomatoes, this film is getting a 78% approval rating from critics and a 92% approval rating from both the audience and Fandango. The average scorer on Google is giving this a 5 out of 5. Or, not the average, the most common score this is getting on Google is a 5 out of 5. So the chances are pretty high that you're going to like this film. I thought it was okay. I would put this smack dab in the middle of your watch list. If you missed this film, I really don't think you're missing anything. It's just not as fun as the first film. There are no flying cows in this. It doesn't have the same energy. It doesn't draw you in, and you don't care about the characters as much. I mean, yeah, there's a scene where this chick is like, we gotta go help people. And the guy's all, we have to go retrieve our data while we still can. And it's like, yeah, helping people does come first, but retrieving that data is helping people because you're supposed to be better at predicting these storms and getting people to evacuate sooner so they're not hurt in the future. So it's like, yeah, there are people over here that are hurt and they need your help. But if you can't get that data, more people are going to get hurt. So what's going on? So yeah, this film, I don't think it's as good as the original. You know, if you had to see one, I would say go see the original Twister. It's not as serious a film, but it kicked off a whole genre of weather disaster films for its time. It was influential. It was important. This film is competent. So yes, middle of the watch list. If you feel like going to the theaters, you don't know what to watch, this is a fine enough pick. Otherwise, not really my cup of tea. Anyway, that's just my opinion. I'd love to hear yours down in the comments below. I, of course, am Richard. Greetings, humanity. Once again, Fred the Facehugger here, reminding you to comment, like, and subscribe. And of course you should do that because, if you look, I am wearing 2 bracelets. These bracelets are from 4Ocean, a company that pulls a pound of trash out of the ocean every time somebody buys something from them. Well, the owner of this channel has pledged to buy 1 bracelet for every 1,000 subscribers. And it's a very, very dirty ocean that you dirtied. So you should help him out and comment, like, and subscribe. Therefore, having him more subscribers so that he can buy more bracelets and clean that ocean. Or, yeah, I could fulfill my life cycle and hug your face. Don't you want a hug? Come over here. I want to give you a hug. I want to give you a hug right now. Yes, come over here, polluting human. Let me give you a hug.